Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my guest for today, Sharon Marie Cline. Hello, darling.
Hi, Cathy. So great to see you.
You too. We were just saying, hi, Roland.
Hi, Roland here. Hi, Roland.
We were just saying that it's been a long minute since Sharon and I have seen each other. I mean, we've known each other for years, but always working, both of us working in LA and
Everywhere.
passing ships in the night. Right?
So much so.
Yeah.
And time just is moving on. It just keeps moving.
Funny about that. I remember, I mean, it just doesn't seem like too long ago. And I guess maybe it was 5 years ago. No, that'd be at least 6 years ago, at least, when you and me and Tiffany did that.
Yes. The downtown thing, right? The video.
When I was booking Bar Fedora downtown LA. um, Sharon came up with this great idea to riff off of downtown, downtown. So me and her and Tiffany Bailey did this cute little funny whole thing. We'll have to watch.
Out there on YouTube. It's
I
out there
know.
somewhere.
I know, we'll have to watch that later. It's kind of like looking at yourself with bad hair. I mean, it was
Right.
cute, but it's still like old,
Exactly. It was just one of those. I get those little inspirations, and what was so great about collaboration is, and then I just brought it to you guys, and you guys loved it, and we ran with it, and we like put it together in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Just because we wanted to have something to go with, your residency there. And I thought it was cute.
It was definitely cute. I mean, I haven't looked at it, so I'm I mean, for a long time, so I'm thinking maybe it's, even though I was cute when my hair was kind of in an afro, I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry, my cough seems to be.
I wish I had some water. You have some water there?
Sorry?
You have some water there? I wish I had something to
I
give you.
do. I have water and I have coffee. More important.
More important, yes. I totally get it. So funny. I'm not really a big advocator of caffeine,
Yeah.
but being so busy, it's like you almost need it. You got, there is something about being mellow and in the flow and in the, and your natural energy and, really not going past it. But life requires more of us sometimes. And especially if you got big dreams, big appetite, lots of generosity, you got to have some fuel. And sometimes caffeine's it.
I know.
And it's yummy. I have tea.
That's cool. So I'm trying to think, if I did know previously, like where you were from and how you came up. I don't know that I remember if I knew back then ever. I mean, I know you've lived in your apartment for a long, 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 long time. And, certainly you and I go back many years. If we thought about it, we would probably go, oh, wow.
And we'd also deny it because we're not going to say how old we are.
I don't care myself, but it's all right. So actually, I would like to know where you're from and how you got onto the musical journey.
Sure. I was actually born in Los Angeles.
Oh.
And I lived in Los Angeles till I was 10 or 12, I can't remember now. And we moved to Jacksonville, Florida. So I actually, in my formative years, were in Florida, Jacksonville.
Oh.
So that's where I'm from. So Jacksonville, if anyone doesn't know, is like a 6-hour drive from Atlanta or a 45-minute plane ride. So there's that, it's a very southern, but then there's like an innovative, because it's also a very industrial, the right word, lots of electronics, progressive things happening in Jacksonville. So there's old world charm, there's new, so we got a little bit of both in Jacksonville. But I grew up in Jacksonville. I went to college at the University of Florida, and I got my degree in music. And I was have a musical theater program there. So I was kind of like one of their first music theater people. So I did music and instead of musical theater.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I did a lot of regional theater around all up and down Florida. I was in Ain't Misbehaving right out of school. That's how I got my equity card. I just jumped into a Broadway cast of Ain't Misbehaving because the girl who was playing Charmaine's role, which is the role I played. Now, this is how silly I was. I'm not a tap dancer. I'm not a tap dancer.
Okay.
But I'm really not a belter kind of singer.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I thought I could do the role. And I did. I actually did, but it was like they needed me there. I got on a bus and went to St. Petersburg, Florida, which is where they were doing this off-Broadway projection of it. And I jumped into the cast in a day and a half.
Wow.
And it went really well. It was an extraordinarily educational experience for me. Not just that I could do it, because I found out I could. It took support. I really learned a lot about trust, but also that I would do something like that, just like, okay, sure. I'm going to just go jump up in front of with this Broadway cast of Ain't Misbehaving. I'm going to fill in in this role that I actually may not be well cast for. Now, we adjusted the role for me. I tap danced, even though I never really took a professional tap dance lesson, but I could learn a routine.
Yeah.
So I did all that and I did it. And I think it was kind of like the opening of the doorway for me to just go ahead and do what I want to do. Like it was a great stepstone out of college into you're there. You're in the real world now.
Yeah.
So it was quite an experience. I was on another show earlier this weekend. I don't know how it came up, but the whole memory came back to me and I was like, I cannot believe I did that. I cannot believe it. But I did, because now I would be like, oh, well, I don't know. How many days will I have to rehearse and what key is this in? And, no, I just went and did it.
But that's the beauty of youth, because you just, there's nothing in the way. There's no major considerations. You just like, yeah, I'll do it. And then you do it and you actually do it. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I mean, I guess some young people don't go the opposite way. Like, some of my students who are younger, they're stuck in fear, some of them, So, but for somebody like you and me, when we were young, we're like, yeah, go to Hungary in the middle of a war. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want an adventure. Yeah.
I think maybe that's one of our, I feel like we have several soul connections there, but I think that might be one of them is our seeking of adventure.
Yeah.
We understand that there's more fruit in life if we go for it. And I guess we trust that we're okay. We're going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When I think back, I mean, I've talked about this with friends over the years, but especially women, when I think back what I did in my 20s, like off the cuff, it's like, I don't know. I'm happy that I wasn't killed or something, because I went into neighborhoods that maybe I shouldn't have, but but I did, and I trusted, and I had an adventure, and yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. So did I finish telling my whole life story? Because I'm so bad at that.
Well, I mean, we're just kind of wandering around anyway. But so that was Florida still, right? The theater. You were in Florida. So at some point you came to LA.
Yeah, well, I came back because like I said, I was born here, so I had family here, so I was always coming back, and my thought always was that I would be coming back to LA. I'm going to be an actress and a singer. Of course, I'm going to be living in LA. So everything was about going back to LA, even though there are certain people who would tell me, "Oh no, you should go to New York. No, you should," because I also worked with another really wonderful off-Broadway cast of Evita.
Oh,
Sandra Santiago, who played Evita. Do you remember her? She was in Miami Vice.
oh
She does a
yeah.
lot of stuff now. She's, as we've all aged, she's an older actress now, but back then she was, young and cute, and she was an Aries like me, so she was kind of like all over the place, and just willing. But they would always tell me you should go to New York, but I was like, oh no, I'm going back to LA. I'm going to California. And I didn't, who knows which was the right choice. But I definitely, I've had lots of challenges that have helped me learn myself here, and lots of things that have taken me off the road of artistry, but into living, and that have really edified who I am. So I think it's
Like what?
well, just like day jobs, like I started, I couldn't seem to get like ever just a day job that was like, waitressing or something. I had to become the assistant manager to first the Regent Beverly Wilshire, and then the front desk manager at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I had to take on those huge responsibilities that like made it hard for me to focus on being a musician, but also exposed me to so much. Like at the Regent Beverly Wilshire, I was basically the check-in point for every celebrity or dignitary that came to town. So I would meet, I met Dan Rather, I met Sigourney Weaver, I met Michael Douglas, I met a lot of different people. That's just at one hotel, and then there's so many people. I've met Barbara Streisand. I got to meet a lot of people that either influenced my life or influenced our culture. And I also like dignitaries from Arabian, from Saudi Arabia, Arabian dignitaries, and kind of got to learn that kind of slice of life.
Yeah.
So I got to experience and see a lot of things. And then all my jobs, my day jobs, have been educations. Like right now, in addition to being an artist, I also run a company that I'm the managing director of, a company of nutraceuticals that are 25 years ahead of the marketplace. But it puts me in an environment with people who are focused on nutrition, cellular growth, wholehearted living. So like mind, body, soul living, which then exposes me to all types of healers and different points of view on life that kind of help to educate who I've become.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I would have done that in New York. I just don't.
Yeah.
But,
I know. I always think about if I had gone to New York, because I was planning on going to New York, and then I met my first husband, Gus Garcia. So, that was kind of that. But then I grew to be very comfortable in LA, and the actions that I could take were fruitful in LA.
yes.
There was a kind of a timing of the flow that I think is very different than New York. I mean, I would have done whatever I did in New York too, but it would have come out different, I'm sure. And I remember a few things regarding that. One thing was real dear friend of mine from like high school into college. She stayed in New York. She was a singer, and it was interesting to see our different the different growth of us, her in New York and me in LA. And
how was it different? I mean, did she I feel like people in New York would take off faster. Is that a mistake in my head?
Well, their focus was like getting in there and trying. It was kind of like it was a faster, more hardcore community. Their products came out like, and here it was a lot more like I had to develop the stuff around me. There, she just, oh yeah, here's another thing I thought of. Here, I invented you have to invent the wheel. There, the wheel's turning and you have to jump on it,
Right. Yeah.
right? And even in Indian folklore, like American Indian folklore, they have these, I haven't thought of this in a while. What are they called? The shields that they carry or they carried had painted colors and animals on them. So even if I met you and we didn't speak the same language, the shield would tell you what I needed to grow as a being. So the colors related to east, west, north, and south, and the animals also related to that. I think there was a bear and there was an eagle was here on the west.
Okay.
And on the east, or was it the other way around?
Sounds right.
And the other side of that was a mouse. So the eagle could see broadly, the mouse could really see close up. So it was really interesting. So there is a difference, on the east and the west. But like you say, who knows? I mean, this lifetime, this is what it is, You and I we've done what we do and we're continuing and
yeah.
And it's good. It's all good.
And we're succeeding. And I think what my sense is and at least my experience of the time that I've been out here working on this career, there's many distractions, and you also have to find a way to make a lifestyle here, because like you said, there's nothing built for you.
Yeah.
So that can be a distraction. And I do feel that I have been distracted a lot, even while I have been working on my goals. Like I've never stopped being a singer. I've never stopped working, knock on wood. I've been really blessed that mostly I work quite a lot, but it does take it takes time to develop yourself, to actually attract what it is that is right, that sign you're talking about doesn't just say what you need.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out, but you also have to have a lifestyle where you're above just surviving, but you're in a thriving place so that you can actually think about, take in, be realistic about what it is you need and who it is you are. And I feel like I have the space to do that here.
Yeah.
I don't know in New York. I don't know. If we like, that movie, Sidelines, is that what it was called? With Gwyneth Paltrow, where she took one step going one direction, this lifetime happens. She took a step going that direction, this lifetime happens. So if there's two lifetimes happening, I wonder what that one looks like. And maybe I'm a big star in that one. Because I went to New York. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know that movie, but that sounds good.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. I think it's called Sidelines. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hi Sandy. You're referring to Sliding Doors.
Oh, thank you. That
Yeah.
is what it is. Sliding Doors.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy.
Sandy's a singer and a instigator in Santa Barbara. She instigates things like jam sessions and stuff like that.
Oh,
So yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember reading this book. Well, I have shitloads of books by the side of my bed. I keep asking my husband to build me a bookshelf so I can get them, in somewhere. But so yeah, this book on dying, but it was written by a doctor who hypnotized many patients and brought them back and found the same story over and over again, which was when you die, the first place you are is amongst a huge crowd of beings, kind of in a waiting zone. And then everybody goes to these groups of somewhere around 20 beings who you've been with before. And you review your life, and then you decide what next you want to do and learn what you need to learn. So logical, So yeah, It's great. I don't know, I talk about this a lot, but I just don't know how people don't see lessons everywhere, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why either. I think I would say it's they're not present. You know that statement, in the new agey conscious.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But really what I mean by consciousness is you're not actually living in this moment. So you don't even see the lessons. You're
Yeah,
either living in the past or you're living towards what you want, and you're not really present. And maybe that's why they're not seeing them. Because there are lessons in everything. There's lessons.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, let's, like, speaking of that, I mean, obviously, this is another thing that you and I share, glass half full, you know? And so how do you stay there? I mean, obviously, we're not happy every single second of every single day, but how do you stay in the glass half full?
Well, I'm not always in the glass half full.
Right. Nobody is.
Nobody. But I would say it's my daily practice, like I meditate every day. I make a choice every day to choose to see it, because you could either see something in a way that it takes from you or is life stealing or life giving.
Right.
And I want to live and I want to enjoy my life, and I believe in how strongly my words and my thoughts are. So I'm not unreal with myself, and I'm not like, oh, I feel great, and I really don't. I'm like, okay, why do I not feel great? And so then I take it step by step in my daily practice by meditating, by breathing, I have a lot of alone time because I need to feel my feelings, because I'm such a I don't know, I'm so out there in my
Extrovert or something. Yeah.
I'm not an extrovert, I'm an introvert, but I mean, my energy goes out to people because I care so much that I can get caught up in others. So I have to take time alone. And that is actually an introvert quality. So I can really feel me. But and then I make the choice to look at it more full, because I was just maybe born that way, maybe raised by my mom that way, to just always think about, how do I make something better? How do I bring more to it? But I do start with, why do I feel this way? What's going on? Then I'm like, what can I do to make it better? And I don't see any reason to see the world half glass empty.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. You just made me think of something. So I was brought up, I had two older sisters who were twins. They were 4 years older. We were all very musical together. My dad was a sax player. My mom had been a singer. My mom was very, like you said, my mom was very, what are we going to do today? That kind of, lots of good energy about creating, and very community oriented. We always had parties at our house, and and she was the mom that a lot of kids went to talk to, and that kind of stuff. But my dad had it was weird. He went out with women, right? And he lied about it, but my mother was tenacious and always not only knew, but she went after it like a lion, digging around in his pockets and calling the women up. And yeah, I mean, it was way over the top. And I was just thinking, you made me think, and this is, it's just one of the things that, is in the pile, but it made me think, if my mother hadn't been spending so much time working on getting him to straighten up, she would have even given us more than she gave, which was a lot, Maybe I could have been president of the United States, you know?
Yeah, maybe in that sliding door in another lifetime. That's what you are.
But yeah, I've never thought about that. But my mom was good. She was good. She was active and creative and loving. And my dad, you know, he had his coolness too, but that side of him was, you know,
A lot of love to give, apparently.
yeah. I mean, you know, got to let that stuff go, right? Yeah, Sandy. Sandy says, be careful of what you wish for, Cathy. Yeah, I don't think I want to. Yeah. Yeah, so so I kind of remember now that you were talking about, you know, working at these hotels. I kind of remember knowing that. But it was, like I said, it was a long time ago, you know. Yeah. And so regarding music stuff, I know you've made a number of videos, which I'm sure we'll see some today. And recordings like albums.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've done some albums and some singles and some Christmas albums. So I think I've done, I don't know why I'm not knowing this. I've done at least 3 albums. I've done, did one with Bradley Young.
Yeah.
Called, I don't remember that name, Interplay. Then my most recent album is called This Is Where I Want to Be. And then I've done a Christmas album. So those are my 3 albums. Then I've released several singles. And my last single was Love Will Follow, which is a remake of a Kenny Loggins song. I like to take songs that are like maybe popular in a certain genre, 70s, 80s era. And then I call it deranging. We do a new arrangement. We bring fresh life to them, but we bring a different perspective. So I did a derangement of Kenny Loggins' Love Will Follow that I think is quite special. And it's doing really well. It's been out for about 3 months, doing really great on Spotify. I've gained lots of wonderful feedback and lots of listens.
I'd like to hear that. Let me go find it. Sharon Marie Cline, there you are. And Love Will Follow. Great. Do you mind if we listen? Okay. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Hoje foi que a perdi. That's not you.
Sorry.
Sorry. That was Manu Le Prince.
on, my baby. Holding on, holding on, baby, on my baby. Let's just live that way. Holding on, holding on.
Nice. Yeah, really nice, Sharon.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Priscilla
so,
Valjahuli. I can never say your name, Priscilla.
oh,
Anyway,
Priscilla, yeah.
yeah, she said the lyrics full of passion. Is it related to a lover? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would say that's what it's about. It's all about love. But I didn't write the song,
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm assuming it's it was relating to Kenny's lover,
yeah,
but I sing it as if it were my lover. Yeah, it's all about that. It's about meeting that person and saying, hey, that the sparks fly and hey, let's go, let's try this. Yeah, let love lead the way.
yeah,
I also think if you take it out of the sexual male female, it's just in general, let love lead the way, and that's kind of one of my mottos in life. I navigate with your heart, and love will follow. Meaning, let love take you,
yeah,
the highest form of love, take you, guide you, inform your steps forward, and that's kind of what I'm all about. So it seemed like the perfect song. Someone told me it was their love anthem. You
oh,
know,
yeah,
either
that's really
way.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, one of those other books by my bed says that there's two basic emotions that all else comes out of: love or fear. Which when I read that, I was like, ah, yeah, of course, everything. You can boil it all down to that. And sometimes I let that be my education, like if I'm having whatever, a difficult moment, I'm like, okay, is this love or fear?
Mhm.
You know, probably fear if I'm having a difficult moment.
Yeah, it's so true. Or I'd even say, well, I think it is important to call it fear. I was gonna say it's either love or the absence of love, because fear really um, is informed by the absence of love. It's like it's the darkness, it's the lower self. So yeah, and calling it fear, I think, is important because but fear also sometimes gets a bad rap because fear is kind of important in some realms. Well, like you need to know if I put my hand on that fire that it's going to get burned. So yeah, having a little bit of like trepidation is a good idea. So
Yeah,
we're not saying don't be fearless. We're just saying don't let fear inform your movements.
right, right, exactly. I mean, really, the road to happiness is to be able to observe everything, you know, to kind of have everything. It's not, fear. Yeah. Grief. Yeah, there it is. It's a reality. So, yeah, I used to, when I was younger, I had this big, aha moment that I realized every problem can be solved if you can confront anything
Mhm.
and take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no problem that can't survive through that.
And it's the hardest thing to do sometimes.
Yeah, and taking responsibility it's interesting. Now that was one thing my mother like kind of forced on us, in more of a negative way. It took me until I was in my 20s to realize what responsibility meant to me in a good way. But yeah, I mean, taking responsibility can also be, I don't think I'm just excusing this away, but in certain times, like certain relationships that I've lost, because I decided I didn't want to go the extra mile. It was just too much,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And so, and then, of course, especially right after that, I always, feel like, you know, maybe I
Yeah.
really should. Maybe I'm a bad person because I'm not doing that. But really, I feel like, I mean, like I said, I don't know if I'm just talking myself out of this, but I feel at those moments, I felt like, yeah, I feel like I'm actually taking responsibility for pulling myself out of the muck, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's a hard thing too. I know for me. Um, the same thing. It's like you say, am I a bad person because I'm not taking this on? You
Right,
know,
right.
but I maybe it's age, getting older, wiser. But I start to protect my energy more. And it's like, like certain people,
Yeah,
they come with certain stuff, and I'm like, do I want to take that on today? Do I want to take that on? Do I want to take that project on because of that? And I think it becomes part of our discernment, really. We have to discern. If you believe in what you're doing and that you feel like almost like not that you have a mission, but yeah, maybe you have a mission or a passion,
yeah,
or devoted to that passion or committed to that passion, then you kind of have to make choices. And
yeah,
and sometimes those choices are to protect self or to um whatever it is, protect self, guide self, whatever. And I find that it's sometimes challenging, even to protect myself from myself. Like I'm a person who like, oh, you want me to do that? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I can fill my schedule so much without realizing I filled my schedule just because I'm excited about it. And I'm a pretty good manifester. So things come my way. And I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I was, holding and meditating on. Well, there it is. So I'm taking it. And before I know it, I have all this stuff on my plate and I don't even know how I'm going to get through it. It's like, how am I going to do all these things at the level which I want to do? And so I have learned that, oh, I can't always say yes.
yeah,
I actually have to hire people or have a good
yeah,
friend or somebody like I talk it through it because I'm like, I I can't trust me. You're not going to protect myself from myself of just being so hungry or so willing, so excited about things. So it's interesting what you realize that you're protecting your goals and your dreams from.
yeah. I've been talking about this subject a lot with my friends, I mean, as you and I know, you and I, that's what you and I are,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly what you just described. And so I've been talking to a lot of people about, you know, whether it's age or, just the time that we're in of learning to say no, and well, I have a good example. Last week, it was just a week ago. I can't even believe it because so much has happened. So, a week ago, I was exhausted and I said to my husband, I feel like just stopping everything and going to sleep, just crawling into bed for a day. And 2 days later, I came to him and said, I'm booking a new room.
Get it. I did. I'm laughing because I totally get it. Yeah.
Oh, you do. And the thing is, like, but here's the thing. So I got connected by Dave Ross to Cool Woodshed. Did you ever play there? Cool
No.
Woodshed. It's in North Hollywood. It's been there 23 years. Traditionally, it's been a place that has supported singer-songwriters, acoustic rock, folk, blues, and it's right around Laurel Canyon and Magnolia. So anyway, he was looking to fill his calendar, and I don't know why he thought of jazz, but he did, and then David referred referred me, and so I'm in a week and a half. I mean, I got him a new piano. We bought material for new curtains. We're getting like some new furniture. Lined up a few people to play already, and but the thing is, from the get-go till right now, I feel very happy about it. I feel very, I don't feel anything bad on the line. The only thing that ever comes in is that's little negative is like sometimes part of me sighs and goes, "Oh my God, you know, you added on more work, you know." But it's very small, and so I feel like I want to continue and do it, you know, because I mean, a lot of it is because it's good for the community.
I know, you're so wonderful that way.
I
Yeah.
just love, you know, how, I mean, come on, man, you know, we have to grow everything, you know, and and you know, there's always going to be people because who say, "Oh, that'll never work," or "No, I don't want to do that. That's too weird," or whatever. I don't really care,
Right.
you know. Like that's fine if they want to do that. That's fine, but I'm going to do it, and I know other people who are interested. So, you
Well,
know.
tell me about it. So what's this? It's a, what is this?
Okay, so here's really what it is. It's the room holds 49 people, but it's not it's a very unusual situation. Um it's not really your typical venue. They don't sell food and drink. It's really a recording studio. It's like a you end up with a three moving camera video stereo shoot,
Mhm.
and there's a Pro Tools session that you can have too.
Cool.
And but you can also invite audience to make your money back from that, you know. And costs about 350 and to basically get all that. And you can charge whatever cover you want, so you can make your money back and make more. And like it's perfect for a CD release party. How are
Yeah.
you going to get for 350 a three camera edited
Right.
shoot of your
Right.
CD release party?
Oh my God, it's so great.
Yeah. And so that's basically it. I mean, there's other details, but you know, so when you tell people about that, there's various reactions. But really, if you think about it, like if we were playing at Vitello's, for instance,
Mhm.
so they take 60, well, it's 60/40, right? Of the cover, you get 60. If you sell a ticket and the person doesn't show up, they take 100%.
I know.
If you don't get enough people, you have to pay for the sound person. If you want to stream, you have to pay for that.
I
And then if you want to video it, you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, this sounds like a good deal and in a interesting environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, if
Well,
you want to do
I
something.
think you're doing my motto, which is on my cup, navigating with your heart. That's what you're doing. The reason why I feel like we attract so many things is
Yeah.
because we're leading with our hearts, and you're not upset about it because it's your passion,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it informs you, and it's an adventure. It makes sense. That we have to. I'm learning for me. I have to pace my adventures. I can't have like 10 gigs right in a row in the middle of the holiday season. Uh, and then you have all these obligations going on. I can't do that. And then move into January with 10 more gigs right there. I'd rather be an artist that pace myself, that is actually doing something artistic. When I find myself in that pattern of just boom, doom, 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 doing that flow, I don't feel as present to that flow of the information coming through my heart and the expression coming back out, and whatever new I can create and how I can do it, and what fresh I can bring to my band. I don't feel like I'm is in control of that, or isn't connected to that when I'm working like that, like every week.
Yeah.
So I have to find my balance, because I have a full life. Now, if I were only doing music,
Yeah.
then it might be different.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm for that too. Only doing music. So many levels of just the music to discover. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, So there's just so much more I want to do in a day.
I
Which day
know what you mean.
longer?
Sorry, I'm just trying to get something up. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's the idea of balance. I think that's, one of the key words and images that, that life is about balance, And for you, what you just described is part of your lesson, right? You have to learn from the things that you are doing, and you've created and manifested those things so that you can choose and learn how to balance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Learn how to balance and keep myself fed, meaning my spirit fed.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. The name of this new room, Roland, is this new old room. It's been around for 23 years. Kulak's Woodshed. So I'm going to start PRing it soon. It's only been a week or a little over a week. And it's just like, wow, it's just coming, a lot of things, a lot of lessons coming on and decisions. So, yeah. Well, let's see. Um, well, I think it's time to listen to more music.
yeah, I love that story.
I do have you singing Fly Me to the Moon 8 years ago, just live. Is that something you would like to show or something else?
What about Sugar on My Lips?
Okay.
This is Sugar on My Lips is original song that I wrote with Mark Winkler and Rich Eames. And we just came together. It was a title that I took Mark Winkler's class, his songwriting class. And he said, come up with a bunch of great titles. That was one of our assignments. And he thought Sugar on My Lips was like the greatest title. He goes, you've got to write a song. And I'm like, okay, I will. And I didn't move on it fast enough. So he started. And I'm like, wait a minute. So then I jumped in there and then I started writing. And then we kind of came up with the structure. So it was like, it wasn't that I didn't want to be a partner, but I always have so much to do, as we just discussed, that I was just like, okay, I'll get to that. And he jumped me. So it was a forced partnership, basically, but of a great song. So then we took the song to Rich and we just came up with the melody and the feeling and everything right then. And I think it's a great song. And this video was created by Elisa Banks. She was the filmmaker who made this video. This was years ago. I look a little different, maybe.
Why do I love you so strong, like a bead of honey? All wrong, but I can't help helping myself, tasting your taste in tiny sips. Baby, you're like sugar on my lips. All through the summer we were so bad, and when it got hotter, so glad. Should've known I couldn't resist, couldn't stop with just one kiss. Baby, you're like sugar on my lips. You've got that wicked little smile, and you smell so sweet. I feel those muscles in your arms, they knock me off my feet. sweet. I feel those muscles in your arms, they knock me off my feet. When we're close and the room is dark, kiss me, baby, drive me crazy. Kiss me, baby, drive me crazy. I like this part. Why do I love you so strong? Like a beat of honey all wrong, but I can't helping myself, tasting your taste in tiny sips. Baby, you're like sugar on my lips. Baby, you're like sugar on my lips. You're like sugar on my lips. Sugar on my lips.
Must have been difficult to make that.
That's the funny that's been fun about my video. All the romantic stuff. I have a little story to tell about that. When I was doing another video, Laughter in the Rain, that was my first romantic video. And the guy he was this hot Latin guy, and he's gay. And I knew that, from meeting him. But when he started doing all that kissing on me and the way he looked, I was like, I have changed him. He is actually in love with me. He had me so full. But I was like, oh, that's just what you do. But I was like, no, this is real. This is real. He's in love with me. Because he was so good at his job. Yeah, that's the fun. You get to pretend to be in love with people. Yes. So yeah, I haven't shown that video to my dad. I know he's found it, but we haven't showed it to him. I'm like, don't tell my dad about it.
Gosh. So, okay, so I know you just played at Catalina's. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. And so lately, are you working on a musical project that's special, or are you, as you were saying before, you know, pacing yourself, doing gigs and
Well, right now I have to get through the end of this long run of gigs, which I'm blessed to, thank you, knock on wood. I do not turn it down because I love performing live. I love that interplay. I love creating that environment. So yeah, I'm in the midst of a run of gigs. The next one is on the 17th at La Puglia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm there on the 17th. But I do have some writing and I have some deranging that I have. And my goal is to have a full album that I can put Love Will Follow into, because I have a couple songs that I released. I'm going to put them all into an album that will be released around Valentine's, like maybe mid-Valentine's, if we can get there. If not, in the spring. I'm also no longer about pushing just to meet a deadline. Because too many magical things happen when I look at what's happening in the world or look at what's happening in the pacing of my life and say, oh, well, everything's saying that I'm not getting this done this week. So, and then I find that something really great happens,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just watch that. But yeah, I'm gonna have a new album probably by the end of spring. Let's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Nice. Cool. I had a question in my mind, but it kind of it left. Let me think about else. Let's see. Um, your music, would you, I mean, you don't have to qualify or genre nate your music, but it's a little more, it's like, there's a groove to it. It's a little more poppy, right? A little more,
Yeah.
would you say, right?
Well, yeah, I would say, because yeah, I was hoping you were going to ask that question,
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah, about how I would try to, because you're right, I'm eclectic. I'm
Yeah.
eclectic and I'm unique. I draw on different flavors, but I do like to have like a kind of a groove going with my music. But I also do straight ahead. I also do ballads, I do bossa nova. But I am an eclectic artist. I draw on what feeds me. I draw on what inspires something in my soul. But I do love that kind of like an undulating, sexy beat. I call myself a soulful jazz singer because it isn't that I sing soul music, but there is like a more groove, and the way I play with the notes is not specifically jazz, So I kind of just let that be like that. We'll see how people, I let others define it for themselves. I'm not defined in any specific way.
Well, who are some of your favorite singers, mentors, or favorite singers?
A lot of them, and I wouldn't say they're groove people either, but definitely Sarah Vaughan, um, Nina Freelon, Diana Krall was really one of my major for a while. It was so funny. Can't remember the name of the album, but she had an album coming out when I was having one of my albums come out, because actually I've done four albums, and she had like our song lists were almost the same. Like, so I had to change it up a bit, but I was like, oh my God, it's like 5 of the songs on her album are on my album. I
Oh,
think
wow.
it was her Look of Love album. But anyway.
I wonder if she's an Aries.
Yeah, I could look that up. I think she's a Scorpio though.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so she's one of my influences. Tony Bennett's one of my influences. Queen Latifah is one of my influences. So I have a lot of different likes and influences. Sade was one of my influences, one of my major influences. I love, first of all, I love the joy of Tony Bennett. At least how he was.
Yeah.
But just the way he just, I don't know how to say it, how he phrases and how he just puts it out there.
Yeah.
And I do that when I sing as well, when I'm doing live performances. I communicate really clearly the emotion of the lyric.
Yeah.
That's what my thing is. And Tony Bennett does that
Yeah.
really well, really well.
Yeah.
But that is, I think, what if someone says what I'm known for, it is the emotionality with which I sing. There's definitely, and Barbara Streisand was my number one teacher on that. I grew up, thinking I was Barbara Streisand too. Till in college, my music theater coach came up to me and he goes, no, you're not Barbara Streisand. Because I would every song I would choose was a Barbara Streisand song. Like maybe try another artist and see how that feels. because I just loved how she emotionally expressed, and her personality was in the lyrics.
Yeah.
And how she so that is I think is how I would define, that's how I would describe me.
That's funny. Yeah, my sisters and I grew up with Color Me Barbara and all those early Barbara Streisand records. I just remember singing them around the house, every song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. That was a great period of music. Yeah. Um, so, let's see. Well, let's see. Do you practice vocally? Do you,
Do I do vocal warm-ups?
yeah, do you practice?
I don't do them, to be honest, as much as I should. I
Yeah,
definitely, when I'm in challenge, I'm like every day, but I sing every day.
yeah,
So my vocalies is not like I'm not doing scales. I'm
yeah,
singing certain songs that, help to open up my voice. And, I kind of like, it's like lifting weights, but lifting specific weights, because you know what that weight's going to go and what the range is going to be. So I do that with a song. I don't do it as much with vocalies as I did when I first got out of school. I definitely, that I was vocalizing all the time.
yeah,
And not to, because I don't want anyone to listen to this and think that, oh, well, after a certain number of years, then you just like forget it, because it is foundational. I just, for whatever reason, found that this worked for me to vocalize and singing songs. Certain songs that I like, certain songs that bring challenge, certain songs that I need to know where my range is.
yeah,
And that's what I do. But I sing every day.
yeah, yeah. Um, do you have any like favorite musical experiences in the past that you've had, like things that you won't forget because they were so much fun?
So much fun or so challenging. Um, so weird. I don't know why I can't think of anything except for the story I told you about going to do Ain't Misbehaving. That was
Yeah,
probably one of the most challenging early on and edifying experiences of my life.
yeah,
To walk out there and not know an entire show, and in a day and a half be plugged in and actually I was really supported by that entire cast to get through that show. I mean, because
yeah, yeah,
learn an entire show in a day and a half.
yeah,
But just knowing that could be done and feeling that experience of like getting from one song to the next and like, okay, you're over there now, that's where you are now, or don't, or blah, 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 or just to feel like that guidance, or like be in a duet with someone and, like, and then like, just feel like you got it. They've got it
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
That
There
was,
is something really nice about singing with people, like in a and having it work really well. Yeah, there's something terrific about that.
yeah, it really is. Um, I would say I really enjoyed uh the Catalina Jazz Club gig. Each one is pretty special. I was going to say I really enjoyed the one I did on July 30th, which is where we started the show. That was from that show. It was quite magical because I was so connected to the audience
Yeah,
and so connected to my band that I felt like I was like this, that everything was coming through me, like the music from them was coming through to them, and then everything was coming back. And everything I wanted to achieve on that gig, I achieved. And it sounds like an easy thing, but that doesn't always happen. Obviously you make mistakes, things happen, like in that, I don't know if you noticed, but in that song that you heard, I did like a vocal flub, but you just keep going because you're so in it. So, but things happen, and things don't actually come out the way you think they're going to come out. But I knew for the gig, I wanted to communicate a certain amount of love. I hoped it would be received. I hoped it would be clear, and I hoped we'd be in the flow. And it was a very powerful gig. I gained some new colleagues and representation out of it because of the way I showed up. But when things happen like that, when everything's in alignment and you step in to what it is you want to share, and it's received and you execute it, there's nothing else like it. So that gig was that for me. But I also want to say, like the gig we did last week, it was an entirely different experience.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. And I love that I went with it, because I was like, how do I replicate that? I want to go back, and this time when I met Catalina, I'm going to come through and even bigger, even better. And it was, crazy stuff that goes through my head. But when I got on the stage, everything felt different.
Yeah.
I didn't have that charge of energy that I felt like energy was just moving through me. But I did feel a sense of relaxation into just the stage. And then I drew the audience into me. So that was really special too. So it's hard. I guess the big answer is it's hard to say which experiences are better.
Yeah.
But I am learning that each experience does give me something different. The more present I am, and the more willing I am to let go of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good answer. I just wanted to give some hellos. Graham Moses, Mark Winkler, Todd Hunter.
Hi, Todd.
Todd, you drinking any good beer? I'm sure not, because he doesn't like beer at all. Every video I see of Todd, I think he has like a new beer.
He's a new beer. Yes, well, he's the beer hunter. So
the beer hunter. I like that.
Yeah, that's his name.
Roland said last Friday you totally connected with me, my friend, fell in love with you, Sharon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Aww.
I have to say, I'm finding the more present that I am, and the more I'm disconnected from the idea, the more I am able to connect, and I find that I actually am. Like what Roland said. Thank you so much for saying that, Roland. And I do find that people are more impacted the more present I am,
Yeah.
Really a nice learning.
Yeah. I agree with you. Performance is better when your purpose is to flow out and give, it's just better. Yeah.
Way better. And I receive, and that helps me give better.
Yeah.
It is really becoming a true interplay for me. I've talked about it for years. I believe that's what live performance is. I believe that's one of the beauties of jazz music, is there's an interplay between the artist, the singer, and the musicians on stage. But I am actually living it more. And it's I just feel lucky, that I get to do that. Yeah.
Let's watch something else. And let's see.
Oh, look, there we are.
Sorry, did I lose? I guess I lost
Lost my pen.
Marie. Try first, Sharon Marie Cline. So you can direct me what we want to watch, or
I kind of like to see Laughter in the Rain, but do you think that's not a good one to do?
I don't know why. And by the way, I love the Gingy that you did was really beautiful.
Yeah, we could share that. That has no pictures of me, but I'm cool with that.
Okay, that's the same one in this lineup, right?
It's the same one.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Oh, Shinji, if I only had words, I would say all the beautiful things that I see when you're with me. Oh my, Shinji. Like the song in the wind. each day. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'd let you go away if you take me with you. Don't you know, Shinji, I'd be running and searching for you like the river who can't find the sea. That would be me without you. Without you. Without you.
Whoops. Sorry, I jumped and I wanted to read more, but
Oh, I see.
I love my
you've done a lot of work with Rich Eames, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, Rich is a great pianist.
He
Uh,
is. He's very sensitive to the artist and very collaborative.
yeah,
So we, he's just a great guy, definitely.
he is a
And,
great guy.
and recently I've been working with Todd quite a lot.
Yeah,
And
and Todd's wonderful too.
yeah,
When I used to book the Bar Fedora, booked Todd in there, and it was just so nice to really listen to Todd. He sounded kind of like Bill Evans, piano type of player, It was really beautiful. Um, and of course, he's a super nice person.
and funny. He's funny too.
What's on your bucket list, Sharon?
I love to have my music in movies.
Hmm.
To like some romantic, beautiful vista, and then you hear my voice. Like I could be the closing credits. I could be during like the montage of the love evolving, and then because I love to have my music in movies. I love to be on the Hollywood Bowl stage, and I love to
Nice.
keep being drawn to use my voice to spark or light someone's heart. So I want to just keep letting my voice take me places to do that. Those are my bucket lists.
Those
But
are
I can
those are doable.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just gotta find that right opening. But yeah, I just want to keep collaborating, and I like to meet Kenny Loggins and collaborate with him.
Ah.
So put that out there too. you know,
Anybody listening might,
anyone listening knows Kenny, and I just released his song. I redid a song and released it. I'd love him to hear it. I
Yeah.
figure out how to network that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Roland told me about this. He's saying he loved your version of Mary, do you know? Or did you know? That's the one that Take Six did, right?
Yeah, they've done it too. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people. I think back in the day, Kenny Rogers and I think it was Naomi Judd did a version of it.
Oh, really?
But lots of people have done this.
Oh,
Yeah, he really did touch him. He told me that. Yeah.
it's a great song. Yeah. Really wonderful song. He wanted to know did you record it? You haven't recorded it, right? Or have you?
I am in the process. I am going to do a Christmas album too, because but I am in the process of recording it. I did do a recording of it. I just feel like there's more to say in it, artistically and arrangement wise, and So I just haven't gotten there yet to where it can be released, but it will be. So keep your eyes out for, this next Christmas 2023.
See, that's really cool. I love that. Um, do you have a favorite cut that you've recorded?
I do love Laughter in the Rain. I do love Love Dance.
Now, why did you ask me if we should play Laughter in the Rain? Is it
Oh, because
slow or
no, because I thought you had said something about certain songs, maybe. I
it's
think,
it's more it's not necessarily the songs, it's the who is posting it. So if like the sometimes usually official videos are put out by companies or sometimes CD Baby can give me a problem. That's what I mean. It's not the song itself.
oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, Laughter in the Rain, I love because that was one of my derangements. And we created this amazing musicians, obviously put down the music, and they created this amazing pad for me to flow over. And I really love what we did with the song. We kind of really freshened it up. It was my first derangement. So I really love that.
Well, I'm gonna have to listen to it. So the official music video is fine, right?
Yeah.
Because it's put out by you. Okay, let's look.
Strolling along country roads
Oh wow.
with my baby.
Is that a young Bradley?
It starts to
Oh,
rain.
that's the sexy guy that I hired for this gig.
Oh, God, he looked like Bradley for a minute.
An umbrella was soaked to the skin. I feel a shiver run up my spine. I feel the warmth of his hand in mine. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Oh, how I love those rainy days and the happy way I feel inside. After a while, we run under a tree. I turn to him and he kisses me. There with the beat of the rain on the leaves. Softly he breathes and I close my eyes. Sharing our love under stormy skies. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Oh, how I love those rainy days and the happy way I feel inside. I feel inside. I
Oh, that was a fun video.
It was fun to make too.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I like that one. Um, yep, Roland said he likes the way you deconstruct your songs.
Thank you.
Um, Sometimes this question comes up. Oh, let's see. Sorry, Taylor only one question. Wow. So my friend Taylor had. She's a guitarist. Um, he would like to know if there are any songs or standards that you really like, that you think that you like to revisit all the time, or that you want to know better, like that are a little more special.
Um, The Nearness of You is one of my favorite songs, and I sing that almost every gig. I love the message. I love the story of it. I love that you know, that the romance of it.
Yeah.
It's also one of my dad's favorite songs, so I always,
Yeah.
I'm singing it for Daddy.
Yeah.
And I love playing with, where I play with the notes and the how the notes rub up against each other when I sing certain notes and hold them out. Um, I'd say Love Dance is another one that I love to sing because I love that part. We slept, we left. I mean, it just sounds, it's so,
Yeah.
I just love it. And I love to like float over when I hold out those really long notes. There's space for all of that in the dream of that song and what I'm trying to create romantically. I
Yeah.
love revisiting that song all the time as well. And, I like to start my sets with my intimate sets. I shouldn't say that because I do something different. Roland now knows because it comes to all my shows now. I do something different every set, but I often like to start with something like Paper Moon. I like to kind of get into the swinging, the easy swing with the band, but it's also such a positive, perky message. And, for me, that song's about believing in dreams, it's a moon, but is it a moon? It's like something we painted, but we believe in it, we believe. And it's just that whole kind of sets up that whole romantic idea. And so I revisit that song quite a lot. There's many that I revisit. I just can't think of them right now.
Yeah. Um, let's see. There was a question that, oh, yeah, this is kind of off into another direction, but um, do you deal with inequality regarding female and male? Do you deal with that ever?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You mean like being the female band leader? I sometimes I experience it, but not much.
Yeah.
On the stand. Like, say I'm not really. Maybe I'm co-leading. Like this is when it's happened, when it's become really clear, when I'm co-leading with the male.
Yeah.
Like, I've been where some musicians, well, I'll be saying something directly in their face, like, we're gonna do this song, then we're gonna go and do this, and then you're gonna take this solo. It's like I'm not even heard. It's like, but then the guy next to me says it, the man, and then it's like he hears it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of black and white. I've also had them like try to tell me where to come in on a song. Like I can't figure that out because I'm the silly girl singer. And I'm like, I know where to come in. I'm not coming in. I got this, kind of thing. That happens sometimes too. I'm like, I got it. I'm just like, I'm back phrasing. I got my way of doing this. That is one thing, like from the musician standpoint. And
That's actually
often
more, I think that's less about being a woman and more about being a singer. Don't you think?
that is
I've had that happen too. It's like, the guy looks at me to kind of indicate to come in. I know when to come in. you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm back phrasing, so you just
Yeah.
I'm a professional. You just, but I mean, I understand where they're coming from. I remember once I went to sing with a girlfriend of mine who is a great singer. Her husband is a great piano player, and he had been playing for a lot of her students. So he had been in the habit of
Right,
adjusting. And
right,
so
right.
when he and I got to play together, he was adjusting, but he got it really fast. He was like, "Oh fuck, you know, I'm
Yeah.
adjusting for her. I don't need to adjust for her, you know." But yeah, I think that's a little more, yeah, about being a singer.
Probably is. I do feel like in the booking, when you're trying to book something and you're trying to negotiate your price, it is I don't know, I just feel like they kind of don't I have to push harder than I think I really would need to if I were a man. It wouldn't come down to that. They think you're cute, and then they try to flirt with you. That kind of stuff happens a lot too. The flirting and I don't know what you call that. There's a word for it. I just can't think of it. But the really kind of sexualizing, things. I've actually had a couple run-ins with some music venue owners, like restaurateurs that I won't mention their names, but things like that I know a guy wouldn't have to deal with. I also have had people like come up to like, oh, this band's here. They go to the guy, any of the guys on the bandstand, rather than come to me about a question or anything that they need. And I always feel like it's because it's the guys, it's because the men know what to do. And I'm like, no, they're like, oh, and they all go, oh, talk to her. I don't know. All the guys are like, oh. I'm like, yeah, see, you should come to me. So,
You've started venues too, right? Or started music programs in venues.
what do you mean? Because I
I
don't think
remember there was gosh, this was you're gonna laugh at this. It was so long ago, like somewhere around Robertson, somewhere near Robertson and the
my God, what was that place called? Yeah. I don't remember the name of the place. That's how I don't live in the past. But
That was
yeah,
a cool place. That was a cool gig.
it was cool for a minute and then it
Yeah.
went away. Yeah, and they had good food there. That's right. That's what you mean. Yes, I have started music there, and I've gotten people to come in, and we've done showcases, we've done special nights. I've booked, there are a couple places I book as well,
Mhm.
mostly private clubs,
Yeah.
like with the Jonathan Club downtown.
Yeah.
They're more like not much their big parties, because that's hired and contracted
Yeah.
out, but their inner stuff, in all their inner events. I
Yeah.
do that. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a music contractor as well.
There you are. um, yeah. So, um, I guess that you, um, I'm not really sure how to formulate these words. Um, well, has there been along the way? Because I think it's inspiring to hear you talk, and because it's like you keep getting back on the horse, no matter what. Have you ever had the moments where like it was a long climb back up on the horse?
Mhm. Almost, yes, and I'm trying to pull out a moment, and I can't seem to pull out a moment, but hopefully one will come if I just start saying what it's like.
Yeah.
It is, first of all, it's really hard to do this on my own without a real support system with me. Not meaning a boyfriend, but meaning like a team. I have a small team, but we need more help. And I also, most of my bookings, I don't get from agents. I am starting to work with agencies now, but I don't really have a manager. So I've been doing a lot of this, knocking on doors, meditating, aligning, attracting, whatever I'm doing. I do it on my own. And so when I'm tired or when I've had a lot of no's before the yes, you're like, what am I doing wrong? You know, it's hard. And then you're like, do what I have to offer, is it enjoyable to anyone? Does anyone care? I go through some of those things. I used to anyway. I'm not really in that as much now because I'm really coming from a place of being led by my heart, and things have gotten way easier. That I do really live this navigate with your heart motto. I do live it.
Yeah.
So I get gigs coming my way. My problem is to say no, but it's hard to get it all together, to get the look together, the music together, everything together on your own. And I do sometimes say, there's got to be a better way. I got to get it because it is for any businesswoman or business person. I don't mean woman, any business person. When you're a self promoter or you're self-employed, you are the main. You are the main engine.
Yeah,
it's exhausting and sometimes overwhelming, and so that is. I think I get overwhelmed sometimes, and then I wonder, am I gonna be able to show up in the light that I want to show up in? That I wonder, how can I do this differently? What can I do differently? And I feel lonely because of it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like the band members, they get to go do what they do. You know, they're showing up, they're talking, hanging, you know, and I'm like, I got to hold this. I got to go talk to the venue owner. I got to make sure we have the right numbers. I got to do all this. I got to, I got to make sure they're taken care of. It's a lot to hold. And then to also stand on stage and hold the freedom of just the expression. So I don't remember your question anymore, but
it was, the question was, of course, we're falling off of the horse and getting back on, but has there ever been like a long fall or a long climb back up? That was the question.
I think there hasn't been a long fall and a long climb up. There's been all these challenges that sometimes make me feel like, there's got to be a better way, because I don't want to give this up ever.
Yeah.
So I've got to find a better way. That's where I am.
Yeah. What kind of things, what kind of outside of yourself things do you find inspiration from?
The ocean. I love the ocean. I love to go just in it.
You live near the ocean, right?
I do, so that makes it easy. But yeah, even if I'm just sitting there and just the ions do something, but it's that the sound and the vision of the water coming to shore and going back, and then building more and coming. But it's like, it's just, it inspires me to like not say what I just said about, oh, is there an easier way? Should I keep doing this? It's like, of course you should, because as you put out, more comes back, and it just keeps being reminded that I'm part of something bigger. Going to a great jazz concert inspires me, really. And I get bummed because I can't go as much anymore because I have to always take care of this. And I'm always in preparation for a show right now. So it's like, I'm like, shit, I didn't get to go see her. I didn't get to go see this. And so I do bum on that because I get a lot of inspiration from watching and listening to other artists express themselves. Great movie.
I feel the same way. I love going out and hearing inspiring music, but also it's like, I just can't go out tonight. I have to I have to work on on whatever I have to work on, it's too much, Like, again, saying no, pacing yourself, balancing, feeding yourself when you have to, feeding yourself when you have to, be sustained, right?
Yeah. It is. I'm a big project for me because I'm like, I have to eat well, I have to exercise, I can't things, I gotta sleep, can't stay up watching, all through the night and binge watch all that, binge watch White Lotus. or whatever.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm getting a new kneecap in March, and my husband and I were looking at, the whole thing they send you, and I'm going, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to really not go out for 2 weeks? How is my husband going to help me with everything? How am I going to do the show? How am I, just, and that's just the first 2 weeks, and then, uh, you know, I found a spot that I felt like I could plug myself into, but I do have a gig 3 weeks later, and I guess my husband's going to have to drive me there maybe, or I don't know, and I'll have to sit on a chair and I don't know. There's a lot of,
A lot. It's a
yeah,
lot to manage. It's a lot managing artists. So,
right. That always cracked me up, like if I would look for a straight job, and they said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I manage an office, I do promotion, I list all these things that I always do every day. And they say, well, no, we're looking for somebody really experienced. It's like, I'm, I have kept myself going for
yeah,
years. I'm experienced,
yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah.
I remember these friends of mine, this always cracked me up. They actually bought a house and they were truthful about what they did. And he was a jazz bass player and she was a professional clown.
Yeah, people are not going to take that seriously.
And they bought a house with that list, on the loan papers.
Good. And they got it. And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It says jazz musician, professional clown. Well, but it makes sense in a certain,
Yeah. Is there any book that you've been inspired by? Do you read? Do you
I,
tend to read or
I not lately,
yeah,
not in the last 6 months.
because you're
Um,
managing somebody that who needs a lot of management.
yes, she needs. Yeah, I get that from God himself. um, but what was I going to say is I do listen to like Joel Goldsmith, Wayne Dyer.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to all those people. I really love, and I wrote Abraham Hicks. I love,
I love Abraham.
yeah,
That's a really good mood to be in. And Eckhart Tolle,
yeah.
which they're kind of different flows, but it's it's really fun.
The information is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Though I do read those kind of books and listen to those kind of YouTubes
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
That's on every week. Um, but I can't remember the last book I read, although I know I've read several this year. I don't know why they're not sticking in my head. But one author I grew up really listening to, not listening to, reading, is Richard Bach. I love
Oh,
Richard Bach.
yeah.
Um, and so I grew up, in the Illusion and in Jonathan Livingston Seagull and all that kind of stuff, and Bridge Across Forever, which really, it's very romantic to me because it's all about him going back in time and seeing different parts of his life. I love that. But I love watching movies. I do a lot. Um,
Do you what kind of movies? Any
all kinds.
kind or yeah.
All kinds, but no, I don't like, I'll tell you what I don't like. I
Yeah.
do not like those spooky, scary movies. I like suspenseful movies,
Yeah.
but not the ones around Halloween that come out. Those are stupid too. Then there's the ones that are just like, I live alone, so I don't really need to be thinking in the other room. So the movies that try to make you scream, I don't like. The movies that make you think, I love. The movies that make you feel or get lost in the, like Emily in Paris. I love that series. It's romantic. It's got, it's funny. It's got music. It's got culture. It's got beautiful vistas. It's got the great clothes. It's got, I love all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do you find that you watch them, you probably varies, but do you watch them to kind of get away from your management job?
I do. And or when I'm like so stressed about a gig, or like I know I gotta have people there, I know it's gotta be this, I sometimes have to just like turn everything off and turn on Emily in Paris, even if I've seen it already. I
Yeah,
need to go back to that feeling tone of
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah,
I like to get lost in something. Yeah.
yeah. That's actually what you just said. I've thought about that in the last few days. Get back into that feeling tone, as a way to, as a practice to put yourself in the right place of delivery. It's like, like I always used to tell my students, the very first thing you do when you get on stage is you say hello to every musician. You know, you connect. It's not just you and the band, it's every person. And that way, now you're more comfortable because you're all in the same universe. So it's kind of like a policy. And I think knowing that tone of the emotional tone that you can put yourself into is also, like you were saying about your last gig, I think, that you were in a particular
Yeah,
zone,
yeah,
right?
I thought it was going to go a certain way, and then I realized where I was. So then I actually did feel into the tone of what had already been created that I walked into, and then I was able to just be there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
Don't you feel too like that taking your time in those situations, although there's part of you that wants to like kind of hurry through and get it, like, okay, come on, let's, but actually taking your time is so much better.
it's that's so much better in almost every instance. Even in a song, taking your time to like, because you also get to discover where you are in the song if you're not on top of the notes trying to sing it, but you're like, I'm allowing the music to come to me and to flow through me.
Right.
So yeah, taking time is so important. And I take time before I go on stage too. Like even with, I usually have, when I'm at Catalina, especially, I have hair and makeup done. So, but I even have to say, I need time. I have to be by myself for a few minutes, really feel present, get in my body to feel who I am in this moment. Um, that's my feeling tone. And then walk on stage and share it. Um, I hate to say this, but I don't usually, and I think it's a great idea, go and say, hey, everyone, because I've been saying hey to them. I say hey to them off stage, but to say hi to each um, individual on stage, it's a great idea. I'm going to use it. Thank you.
And actually, I mean, it's more for, and I really meant that more for students because they tend to get up and, disconnect or talk only to the piano player or, you know what I mean? And so I want to get them understanding that you are a musician, you're a singer. The pianist is a musician, he's a piano player. And so, and you're all, if you all are in the same universe, then that's where creativity lives. There's no mistakes, all that kind of stuff.
That's so well said. Yeah.
Um, do you think we should go look for the Bar Fedora thing?
If they decide they want to find it, then it's worth them.
Okay, okay. It's called Downtown. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like I said. It's kind of like when you did your hair and differently, and then you look back and you go, "Wow, okay." I mean, it was fun at the time. Let's see. See, it's almost 2 hours.
Isn't that something? Can I talk about my calendar?
Yeah.
So this is my Navigate with Your Heart calendar. I've been
Oh,
saying,
it's actually a calendar. I thought you were going to tell us about your music coming up.
oh, I'll tell you about that too, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
But I wanted to tell you about this is my 7th year doing a Navigate with Your Heart calendar. It's just
Oh,
basically you ask how I stay in positive modes is because I do things like this. I find inspirational um, quotes and I put them with beautiful pictures. I curate beautiful calendars, but I keep myself always surrounded with things that bring me joy or bring me inquiry. I'm just showing you every page for some reason, but it's really cool. I'm really happy with it this year. I'm happy with it every year. Every year it's different. Um, but it's fun to spend time finding a quote that's inspires you or makes you go, let me think about that, and then share it with others. And then I hear people, I mean, no one really uses calendars anymore, but these are for keepsakes. These are
Yeah.
keepsakes of things, and people, I've come to be known as someone who will give you this little inspiration for your heart. So that is something that you can get this on my website if you like.
Cool. You gave me a coffee cup I still have.
Oh yeah, is it the Sugar on My Lips one, or is it Navigate with Your Heart?
Um,
Or is it
I
just
think
a
it
coffee?
said something else. I can't remember right now what it says. It's something about love or heart or
Probably, yeah. I
yeah.
probably thought of you. It probably reminded me of something of you, and I thought it'd be good for you. Yeah, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. So yeah, you can check out my calendar on my website, which is SharonMarieCline.com.
Okay.
As you can see, my last name spelled with a C, C-L-I-N-E. Many people, that's been one of my main things is people not getting my name, right? It's SharonMarieCline.com. I am at La Puglia on the 17th of January.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to be, I have some private events the rest of the month, but I am also going to be at the Drake in Laguna, which is, I know it's a big drive, but it's actually a cute little spot. And I was there on the 4th of January. It was packed. I mean, I was like, I didn't think it was going to be full because it's such a, so close to like the new year. The
Yeah.
place was packed. The food is extraordinary.
Is
The
that
sound.
the music is kind of more R&B like that direction?
Oh, I
That
did.
one? Did I see you doing a gig like that? Like somewhere where it's like a little more R&B-ish music?
I
No?
don't
Down
think
there?
so. It may have been something I was involved in and I brought the other. I
Um,
usually bring the other and then they bring the R&B, and I'll do a few songs in that in that direction.
yeah.
But I can't think of a concert that I've done really that's more. Oh, maybe you saw me streaming at it was during the pandemic. There was a couple other artists that were more like kind of smooth jazz. So it was more
Yeah.
like it was moving in that direction.
Okay.
And maybe at the Long Beach Jazz Festival, I was a little bit more smooth jazzy in that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, anyway, so but that place, the Drake, it's definitely straight ahead jazz.
Oh, cool.
Really cool stuff.
Wow, nice.
Mm.
Well, Sharon Marie Cline, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been really fun hanging out with you and seeing your lovely continents again.
Thank you. It's been great hanging out with you, and we'll not let that time get away from us this time.
Yeah.
I like to do it again in
Okay.
person.
Yeah, that would be really nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, cool. Well, thank you, who's been listening. This was,
Yeah.
and
There are people here still, and I just wanted to say the next 4 days are the archives. This month, I have a bit more archives happening because I'm producing somebody who's coming in from out of the country, and I just had to fit them right into the middle of the week. But like tomorrow is Mike Greensill. How do you pronounce his name? Greensill. Do you remember Wesley? Wesley. Oh shoot, I can't remember her name. She's truly one of the great singers. She kind of was a cabaret and jazz
okay.
singer. Wesley Whitfield.
Okay.
And Mike was her husband and MD and pianist. And so he's really good. That's Thursday, and well, yeah, Saturday, Barnaby Finch, who was a pianist who played with a whole bunch of people who I met in Idlewild. And then Sunday, Dean Parks, who's one of the all-time great guitar players on so many studio projects and recording projects with not jazz, I mean just everything.
Wow.
Dean Parks. Yeah, so and that'll bring us into next week, which will have some live live people showing up. So that's oh yeah, one more thing. If you're in town, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday I'm gonna be at the Urban Press
That's right.
in
Yeah.
Glendale, and I've invited Mon David to sing with me. We're gonna have so much fun. We always do. And Mitchell Long on guitar, Edwin Livingston on bass, and Joey De Leon on drums. So that's going to be fun, 2 to 5. You can look on my website. So, and then of course, expect information about the new venue, Kulak's Woodshed. So anyway, we'll see you hopefully soon, Sharon.
Yeah.
And I look forward to being able to come to one of your shows.
Yeah. I look forward to that too, and to coming to yours. And thank you so much, Cathy. It's been fun.
You're welcome. Bye, sweetheart.